If you're new to the world of e-bikes and you're really trying to figure out what size will be best for you, check out this quick comparison. This is a 14-inch model, and of course this refers to the wheel size, and this one's a total kick in the pants, and you'll probably convince your uncle to take it for a test drive, but really it's only appropriate for teenagers and smaller riders. Unlike most folding e-bikes, it's actually not the frame that folds on this, it's just the handlebar assembly, so keep that in mind when you're planning on how to transport your bike. Compared to a more common 20-inch folding e-bike where the frame and the handlebars fold down, sometimes that's a little bit easier to get that to go in the back of a hatchback or SUV. This is the GoTrax R1, and here we have the Aremo, both very similar in that regard. The Aremo comes with a 7-speed derailleur, whereas the GoTrax R1 is a single-speed e-bike, so that's another thing to consider when you're shopping for what model you want. It's got a nice range of adjustment on the handlebar and seat height, so it'll fit a variety of riders. You know, one thing I wondered about is how durable these connections are, and this is one thing that GoTrax absolutely got right. The connections and the hinges, everything is super sturdy, and when you lock it in place, you would never know that it's a folding bike. Same thing with the main frame hinge, everything is incredibly stable. This is the Aremo Scrambler 100. It's a 20-inch e-bike, 3-inch tires, and one incredible stat on this is the maximum payload is 440 pounds. I don't know that I've seen that high of a weight rating from a 26-inch standard e-bike, let alone a folding model. But then you start to inspect the aluminum frame and how sturdy that hinge construction is, and you really start to trust that rating. It folds up into a perfectly compact package. It'll go into any hatchback or small SUV. And this Scrambler feels right at home whether you're on the pavement or out on those gravel trails. These next three e-bikes are all 26-inch models, which is probably the most common size for adult e-bikes, and they all have front shocks. Here's a couple from Hitway with two different frame styles, so that's another decision you'll have to make, what type of frame you want with your next e-bike. A step-through design like this is a little bit easier to get on and off versus a step-over design. One thing unique to the Hitway bikes are the fold-up seats, and that's kind of nice. You can just pull the battery right out, easy access that way. And then there's premium 26-inch e-bikes like this electric X-Peak step-through. You get a much beefier, stiffer frame and wide 4-inch tires on that. We just took this to the beach and it was an absolute kick on the sand, so that's some of the capabilities that you'll add with a fat tire e-bike. And then finally you have models with oversized rims like this 27.5-inch Haybike Race Max. And there's less of a difference than you'd think between a 26 and a 27.5-inch e-bike. Just read the stats on the wheelbase and the recommended rider height. So if you just want to go on short outings or have an e-bike for smaller riders, a 14-inch model is fine, like this Urban Go. If you really need a compact package that's easy to transport, but when you get to your destination you want to do some serious riding, I think a 20-inch foldable e-bike makes a lot of sense. If you're going to be doing much riding though, like 10 or 20 miles a day, I would really recommend going with a 26-inch e-bike, particularly one with at least front suspension. One word of warning, most of the stock seats that come with these bikes are pretty uncomfortable, so plan on upgrading to an aftermarket seat. One I would recommend is the seat that comes with the Aremo Scrambler 100. It's not big and bulky, yet it's a big comfort upgrade from most stock seats. So these are some of the basic things I look for when trying to choose a certain size of e-bike. If any of these particular models are of interest to you, you can drop down to the description box. I'll have links and other resources for you there that you can get some more information.